The following is a quick presentation for Lighthouse. They're requesting a custom application to be developed based upon GraphPad. And we're going to show an example of how I can create one of their drawings rather quickly using GraphPad as it stands right now. And then, of course, they add their own customizations, their libraries, and their symbols. And so this kind of shows more or less a finished drawing at this point. We kind of did things fairly quickly. But the way I did this is actually took an image of their existing file that they sent me and then used that as a background. And so this is kind of the way it would look. So, but just to show the whole process, we'll start with a brand new file. And this is based upon a quick template that I created for them. They've got their logo up in the upper right-hand corner. And then in the lower right-hand corner, they've got the boilerplate text. And we can fill in, for example, this was Fox residence, I believe. And we can see how it would just automatically populate it, fill it out. So as I mentioned, I used an image, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go to a second page, and then we'll bring that image in. I'm going to change the settings so we have a large image size. Bring in the image. Okay. And what we can do is we can just center this inside the drawing. And that's about right. Oops, sorry. We'll change this so that this turns the grid off. Okay. Zoom this down. That's about the right size. Do something like this. There we go. Okay. And now what we can do is on the top cover, we can actually change that to be it's transparent. I'll go ahead and turn the grid off so it's a little easier to see. And now we have our base drawing that we can actually go from. So now we can just start drawing our lines, right? So I'm going to set this at a line thickness of 2, which is about right for this. And we'll just kind of go across the rest of our drawings. We can move it into where it's exactly lined up, but we're doing this rather quickly. Let's see, we got a line that comes down here, another line here. You can see this is actually fairly easy and somewhat fun to do, actually. See, we have snap that's bringing things into alignment for us. Go on across, make a line right there, make a line there. Move this over. Continue on with our geometry. Go there and there, come across, etc. Okay. So we have those lines. Let's see, did I put that line down there? I did. And now I can do my arcs to complete this, and we'll show how this would go. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I want to do right there. Okay. And that's not exactly quite right. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of this line right here. And go ahead and connect these two guys up. Right. And we'll sort of kind of get this into where it's lined up correctly with our rest of our drawing. So there, bring this out. You can see, like I said, this is actually a little bit on the fun side, actually. Alignment. Okay, and I am cheating, of course. I'm going with somebody else's drawing, but I'm not particularly talented at drawing myself. I'm going to start here, like that. It's a little bit better for a starting point. Let's hang on 1 second. Let's kind of look at this a little bit closer. And get rid of... There we go. Okay, and that kind of gives us the general gist of it. Let's line this up here and across. Okay, we can actually, at any point, we can actually see how well it's looking by just changing the, pressing on the button in the back there. Change the background to opaque, and we can see what it looks like. So here's where we're at. So we've got most of the geometry, and of course, we could actually drop in our dimensions. Presumably, we'd have dimensions on this anyway. This looks a little funky down here. Whoops. change that. Something like that. Anyway, get the gist of it. And now we can actually start dropping in our symbols, okay? And so I forget exactly where these guys were, but I think there was one of these up here. If you wanted to, we could resize that. We would just change the properties and we'd get this green dot, and then we can actually just move it until it's a little bit bigger to meet our needs. We had some of these symbols and just drop them in wherever they need to go, etc. I think there was a bunch of these guys over here. And these are proportional, right? So if we actually change the scale, say for example, we slide this over this way, we'll notice that these objects have a definitive size, and so they'd increase. Take that back to where it was, etc. Okay. Move these entities over. Okay. And so you can see how easy it is to just drop these entities into place and to work with them. In addition, we also have the symbols that we would be using for lighting itself, and so we would just drop those items in. Oops, see, when I do this in the zoom mode, I do a little jump in there. So I can just drop those in where they belong. That one back. Go. And then we can actually use the select mode to actually line things up. Oh, didn't want to get that one. There we go. So I'll line these up there and grab this guy, etc. Okay, let's see. So other things I need to demonstrate. I guess we showed we can drop the dimensions on, showed how we can actually add the symbols to it. One thing we might want to do is once we have this geometry to where we want it, we can fix it. So I can do is I can grab this entire area and I can do a create group and then change that group so that we don't have any points on. And now it won't it's not easy to accidentally drop a point on or something like that. It's easy to move things around. Oh, and of course we have a legend that goes in there. I think I had that under my images. So we can drop the legend in. We can have a standard legend. We can have it so it's calculated. Let's see, let's resize this guy a little bit. Resize on. Just move that down a little bit to the size, etc. So you can see how quickly you can actually create the drawings. You could actually do this in the field. A lot of times you use satellite images anyway, so you can get the property dimensions and get the house or something like that and sketch on top of it. And that's basically my presentation. Hopefully this is something that's going to meet Lighthouse's needs. And we'll talk to you guys soon about it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.